always a pleasure speaking with you, man. We just talked recently because you said something was going to happen. You had a big listening party, which I apologize I could not make it to because it ended up, I was actually going to go, but then it ended up being the MJ the musical on the same day.
Oh, well, I can't
And
compete
I
with
knew
MJ.
you would understand that.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, so ended up there, but I was trying to, check the pictures that you're posting and saying congratulations and stuff like that. New LP out, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been wild and really exciting, and I know you're always in my corner, but I get it. Like MJ takes precedent over pretty much everyone,
Uh,
so it makes sense.
no, man. Well, look, again, my apologies, but I'm just so happy for you finally getting this album out because doing it independently and I know this album really is a mix of emotions
Yeah.
from what we've talked about for the longest time. So this is great that you're getting all of this out there for people to experience.
Yeah, it feels like I've sort of been able to extinguish negative things and emotions that have sort of been building for the last 3 years and birth it out into the world and sort of share myself and hope that people can connect with it and apply it to their own lives and however that makes sense for them. So.
How was the listening party, man?
It was
Or listening party?
awesome.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God. The first album that I put out, Tove, back in 2021, we were still pandemicking.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do anything in person. But I have to tell you, like, of course, it's always awkward watching people listen to your music. Like, you're just kind of like, you feel weird. So, I mean, it was a very social environment. And at one point in the beginning, people were all very quiet. And I was like, you can talk during this. Like, I'm not going to be like offended. And it was so great. It was just great to hear people sort of comment on things they liked, get immediate feedback on certain songs that, I was a little trepidatious about putting out there because it's so personal and so like raw. And I'm so grateful. We got to do it actually in two places. We did it in Toronto and we also did it in Woodstock, Ontario, where I'm from. So it was awesome.
That's what I was going to ask. What did the family think?
Family loved it. I mean, I'm really lucky that I have supportive parents and a supportive brother who all, have really sort of been on the ride with me. I mean, I've been singing since I was 7 years old. So, I mean, I think some of this, to my mom in particular, is probably pretty exciting because it's watching something that I've sort of had a lifelong trajectory come to fruition. And I mean, that's what it is for me too. So,
It's just funny because your brother just recently had a birthday, right?
yes. Yeah,
And
yesterday.
I'm looking at him and knowing I'm going, these two seem like the complete opposite type
Oh.
of people. Am I right when I say that?
I mean, he's a really funny guy, and he's a lot of fun to hang out with, but I would say yes, he is a very different person than I am, but for some reason we get along so well. It wasn't always that way. I mean, as
Oh,
kids, we wanted to kill each other, but
yeah.
in today's world and in the adulthood that we're in, it's amazing to have a sibling. That's for sure.
All right, let's get to the title. What is the name of the new album and how does it represent you in this point in your career and life?
It's called Take All My Toys and Go. And you know me. And it is an album that sort of picks up where my last one left off. So my last one, I was dealing with the death of my best friend. And um, I found myself sort of picking up the pieces. The first song on the album is called What Dies Inside While We're Alive. And essentially, I was sort of feeling like when it comes down to it, we almost have more pain inside ourselves while we're living than, when we pass on because we don't really know what happens when we pass on. We're not aware of it. There's no consciousness. But the people who are left behind are sort of have the ultimate death because a part of them is lost and they lose themselves in that grief. So that's sort of how we open. And the album is built into two different parts. So the side that I'm hurt and the side that I've learned. And on the vinyl, actually, the hurt side is side A, and then the learned side is part side B. So through the album, you sort of see the different things. I was on tour in the US for some of 2023, 3. And there were a lot of trials and tribulations, as you can imagine, being on tour as an indie artist. And the financial alone with all of that can be a bit complex and overwhelming. But then eventually I started going to therapy. I started sort of looking inward, looking at where some of the things that I was dealing with were coming from, getting to the root. And that's where we sort of end off at with the final song being One More Day with You. So, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so the album is out.
Yep.
You got all this music out. People are hearing it. How did you personally feel before when you started recording this album to how do you feel now that the album's out? And I think you understand what when I say, how do you feel now?
Yeah. I love this question. I think when I was writing, I was in angst. I was in a bit of depression. I was in, almost, I don't want to say a revenge mode because I was angry with people, but ultimately there was sort of that feeling. And as I've progressed and the album is out, it's really turned into that of being able to look outside myself, look outside my ego,
Yeah.
and see why people are motivated to do the things they do, and perhaps how I contributed to making people do these things and owning my part of it. And I feel almost relief, but also very grateful that all of these things happened in my life that I was able to turn into this album. And I mean, I'm just from a place of gratefulness right now because it just feels so amazing to be able to do this, you know?
Even better, how's it feel being able to pick up vinyl
Oh
and
my gosh. I love it. Like I'm newly obsessed with vinyl. I would say newly like a year and a half, where
Mhm.
like I am buying so much vinyl all the time. And by the way, vinyl is expensive these days, but it's the best because you don't have to well, you don't find yourself flicking through the songs after 30 seconds because I find with our phones when we're listening through, like we get to the chorus and then we're like, okay, next song, next song, next song. With vinyl, it goes back to analog and you start to appreciate full albums. You start to actually put the pieces together in the way that they were meant to be put together and really enjoy songs and enjoy albums as a whole. And that to me has been like a real gift because I can remember as a kid always listening to these like full records, the Spice Girls, Bette Midler, and always knowing every single song on the album. And vinyl's a way to kind of make that happen for myself and force people to listen to the whole thing.
okay, can we see the cover again?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is the inspiration behind this cover, this face? What are you doing and what are you looking at in this?
So this right here is a music trophy that I got when I was like 12 years old, and I'm sort of clutching it as a memory, but also I'm surrounded by other toys. My first album is in the corner over here, and I'm sort of looking off to the distance because I'm getting ready to take all my toys and go. And the significance of Take All My Toys and Go is essentially, I mean, as you know, I grew up queer in a very small town and faced a lot of adversity and found myself sort of modifying who I was to fit in or be accepted and still never getting accepted. Like it didn't matter. So what was the point? And I found that throughout periods of my life, and particularly when I was touring and writing this album, I was really changing who I was to try and achieve things or be what people needed. And that's never the answer. Like you need to be authentic to yourself. So take all my toys and go is essentially like, okay, I'm taking my power back. If this doesn't work for me or you don't like me, I'm gonna take all my toys and go. And that's essentially where it all came from.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of tour, do you think you're going to be able to tour this and how do we get the album, the music?
So, in terms of touring, I'm going to be performing next year. So, I'm going to stack next year full of things.
Mhm.
More to come. I don't have any definitive things right now. It's been just sort of like promoting this album and getting that all together. But people can get it through Dead Dog Records, who have been amazing. They ship all throughout Canada and the US. And also, they can get it through Sonic Boom in Toronto if you're
Yep.
in the west end of the city. Also is carrying it right now, so you can grab it there. And of course, it's on all the streaming platforms too, but get it on vinyl. It's worth it, I'm telling you.
Fantastic, my friend.
Yeah,
Congratulations. So
thank
happy for
you.
you. Finally the music is out and can't wait to go through this experience with you, man. Congrats.
Thanks. Thank you so much for your